You know, I was reading one of my comments, and I think it was a female. Now, I hope it wasn't a male, but there's nothing wrong with that. It could have been a male, but I think it was a female, and she had watched the video, Don't Let This Happen to You, or I think it's called Don't Let the Mormon Church Do This to You. And I thought it was one of my better videos, but it's way back there, 300 or 400 videos back. And she said, wow, you were really handsome when you were young. Now, you know I'm bipolar, and normal people probably would have gone, hey, thank you, I appreciate that comment. Not a bipolar person. She's saying you're as ugly as a mud fence right now. You'd have to sneak up on a glass of water to get a drink. You look up the word ugly in the dictionary, your face is right there. So I'm not sure that was a compliment. It could have been a Mormon Danite in disguise. I don't know. But anyway, can I just take a quick minute with the debates coming up with Romney and Obama? I call them the salt and pepper duo. My little one, Allison. Oh, God. I should have never said her word, because she'll look back on these when she's 36 years old and she's got 6 kids and say, you know, my dad was a real asshole. He told 1 million people about what kind of a child I am. Well, you've all been very fair to me, except the Mormons. So, you know, I still have the frustrations of a parent. I'm almost 65 years old in a few months, and I've raised 14 kids. I did resign from the Mormon Church, and I know I'm getting off the topic, but that's what I do. And I haven't had my meds again today. Damn, I've got to remember that. Anyway, I was asleep last night, and my wife came in late. She comes in late a lot. Now, my lesbian wife used to do that. But I know my little wife is working. She comes in late, and she wakes me up. And she said, did you go over to the supermarket today and buy $11 worth of candy or food or something? I go, no, I've been in the house for 3 days. I'm a shut-in. I don't go anywhere. Oh, God, I poked myself in the eye. And she says, well, your credit card bought $11 over at the supermarket a couple of hours ago. I said, hell, did that credit card grow feet? She goes, yeah, and I think it's a girl credit card. I said, go wake her up. Damn, I never wake children up in the middle of the night. You know, I think children, there's plenty of time to discipline or to direct a child. The middle of the night is not a good one. But I had a credit card floating now, out in public. My wife had looked in my wallet and said, that credit card isn't in there. And I said, well, let me go check for myself. And myself said, no, that credit card ain't in there. Where the hell did that credit card go? So we woke up. I've told you, the baby is the worst criminal that has ever been born. She has never gotten away with one crime. And you know, when I was doing AA, they said insanity is doing the same things over and over again and expecting a different result. Well, she didn't know that was going to show up on the computer. So we woke her up, and I said, yes, I did use her name. I at 1 o'clock in the morning, I'm just kind of like this when it comes to discipline. The little monster. I said, did you take my credit card out of there without permission and charge up? She said, well, yeah, I took a few friends over to the market. I'm saying to myself, South, you've run residential treatment centers for 40 years. You've got a kid that, you know, could have belonged to one of those residential treatment centers. I didn't tell you, she started a fire the other day, and her friends that she took over to the market were with her. Now, I know my child, and a couple of the friends, they're good kids. They're good kids, and I have them here in the house all the time, and they're like part of the family. I didn't really know how to treat my kid. This is something that really upsets me. You know, if somebody was over 18 and they did that, they would be in jail. That's theft. And I've tried to make my children very independent and very knowledgeable. My little one is 9. She's not quite 10 yet. And I've trusted Allison, even though she's on meds. She's ADHD, special ed kid. And I've let her light in my presence incense in my room. I like smelling incense, and I like to make sure that kids do not become fascinated with fire, and I would rather be there supervising than teach them. Well, we went in her room like 2 weeks later, and here's this big burn on the carpet in her room, and we finally found out that two of her little friends and her were lighting my last stack of incense and burned the hell out of the carpet. Well, now she rips off my credit card. Oh, God. What next? What next? So, I'm just chatting with you. It's not a fireside chat. Oh, you're all too old. You're all too young to even know. I didn't know what a fireside chat was. Was that Harry Truman? Long before I was born. But anyway, I'm having a family home evening chat. Chat my ass. When you hear a bishop or stake president say chat, bend over and kiss your ass goodbye. So I don't know. I've got her in the house right now and under surveillance. She's in at the Filipino prison house. Halfway house, and it's not even halfway. Her friends came to the door today and said, can Allison play? And I said, it's not visitation until Christmas. So I don't know. I'm such a softie on my girls. I just, you know, I want to discipline her. I want to teach her. But, you know, when my girls cry, I just melt like butter and say, hey, go rob a bank. It's okay with me. What's wrong? I'm just not a good father. I'm just not. But I keep trying. I keep trying. I'll adopt a few more in my 80s. So, anyway, she's sitting there in the prison. The story being, I just needed to kind of vent that because I don't have anyone to talk to. I have this blow-up doll in my room, but she doesn't say much. She just kind of like an ex-wife. No, she's actually better than most of my ex-wives. So, I'm going to come back now to the topic. And here's the topic. And I guess I was bringing Allison into it to show you, as an experienced parent, how do I know that people are lying? Now, I've come across some real sophisticated humans. Boy, it's tough to see if they're lying. You know, you read body language, you read books, and if they do this or roll their eyes, and they're lying. No eye contact. I have terrible eye contact. I try to put my eyes on the mirror there, and they just don't stick. But anyway, I just don't look at people. I don't know why. I look at the wall, and I talk to people. Well, I have a lot of ugly friends. You know that's not true. I have no friends. So anyway, I don't know how you tell that somebody's lying. But I do know this. I do know this. Being louder and speaking more words does not create truth. Truth can be a yes or a no. It can be a very, very short answer. When you're talking to someone and you are making your points and your opinions, and they interrupt you, they begin to talk over you, they begin to yell, they stand up over you and look down on you, that's a person that knows they're lying. I dealt with emotionally disturbed kids my whole life. So when a child comes into the room, and you know, Allison last night, she lost the gate key too, and it goes on and on. Her mother and I have a very different approach, and my approach is I just told Allison to go into the living room and sit down middle of the night, and I said, what the hell? I said, did you steal my credit card and buy stuff without permission? And I had a low tone and a low inflection, and I wasn't threatening. I was asking for information. She says, yeah, I did. I said, what the hell are you thinking with, Allison? I said, you started a fire last month, and now you're stealing and taking the neighbor kids over with my credit card? I let you use the credit card just like I let you use the incense, and you turned around and lit your room on fire. Now I've let you use the credit card to go into Maverick and buy a drink or a candy bar, and now you just go to my wallet and take it out and spend $4 a kid? Yeah. Well, where's the key? Well, I don't know. There's Mr. Nobody. He lives in my house day and night. If I could find him, I'd kick his ass. If I could find Mr. Nobody, I'd kick his ass. But I can't ever find the bastard. 14 kids. He's been there 50 years. Anyway, I know basically when people are lying. And when they stand up over you, they use a great big podium or a big wood table and set you at the very end of it like you're some kind of a criminal outcast. When they dress up in a tie and a suit and they come and they have a briefcase and little eyeglasses and they try to use intimidation, that's good for lying. It doesn't faze me anymore, but it used to. It used to. I thought, God, he's an attorney or he's a politician, and I found out, truck drivers can buy suits and act like a bishop. Actually be a bishop. So anyway, I just wanted to share with you, I guess these things in my mind are kind of connected, that when you start to yell at a child or an adult, their ears just turn right off. When you get angry, the adrenaline blocks the left side of your brain. You can't think what your name is if you're angry. And when you say to a Mormon, do you approve of marrying 14-year-olds, they will stand up, they'll start to what's that word? I can't think. It starts with an F. Fledge or flail. Flail maybe with their hands. And they jump up and down and they're... I got a Doctrine and Covenants down there, but I'm too fat to reach it. Take their book. This is the Lord's Word, and I'm telling you, I'm a representative of the Lord, and I believe in Jesus Christ. You know damn well they're lying. Real human beings, and I guess I'm kind of proud of that. I can stand in front of an idiot for, 20 minutes, and have them rant and rave and rant and rave, and I learned, it's not my nature, but I learned from an old man that used to be a friend of mine. I used to be young and I had an old friend, and he listened to me one day just rant and rave about a construction project that was done by somebody else that I paid for, and I was so upset it wasn't done the way I think it should be done, and they were his friends that did it. And I yelled and jumped up and down and told this guy how I felt, and I was ripped off, and I this and that. I thought I'd won the argument because he had never said a word. That was Grover. That was his name, Grover. Not Rover. Grover from Oklahoma, Grover. And after he listened to my wailing and ranting and craziness, he said, well, David, I just don't see it that way. So what do? Jump up and down more and more, yell more and more, slap Grover till he can't see? He taught me a very important lesson. You can listen. Listen and listen and listen. And when the person is finally done, you can say, well, are you done? Is it okay? And I use this a lot. I use this a lot in law and in other professional, school district meetings, whatever. I'll just listen and listen and listen. And most of the Mormons think you have nothing to say. You agree with them because you're so quiet. Mormons want to fight. They want to fight. That's the way the cult has trained them to live their life, in fight and flight. And many times I will say, well, now, have I been courteous and listened to you and not interrupted you? Well, yes. Would you mind giving me the same respect? And I'd like to say one or two things. Oh, now they're shocked. Now they're shocked that I didn't agree with them. Like, you dare to oppose us or me? I say, well, I don't see it that way. This is how I see it. And I usually don't argue. I never raise my voice. I will kick the shit out of them. No, I don't do that. I'm just calm, because I know if I get upset, this side of the brain stops working. So I'm very calm. And I'll say, well, I don't see it that way. Could you take a look there at the third paragraph on page 23 and summarize what that's saying? Then I sit back. I don't fold my arms. You keep a open arm position, making them think you're listening. And that's the way to handle liars and deceptive people. Now, Mormons are #1 in the country for multi-level scams. MLM, multi-level media, Amway, New Skin, it just goes on and on and on. Because they don't want to work, and they think that they can sell all the members in their ward above them. They don't have to work because they get a cut of what their friends are paying for. So, raising your voice, stomping, giving nonverbal signals while you're trying to make a point is indicative of lying. Now, I challenge you. Challenge you. There's only 2 things that will happen when you talk to a Mormon. Well, there could be 3 things. They could fall down and die, I guess. Well, there's 4 things. I guess they could be translated. But generally, there's 2 things that happen when you talk to a Mormon. If you ask them a question that they don't have a quote from the cult learned, they'll say, that doesn't affect my salvation. Even if they steal my tithing money, it doesn't matter. Jesus knows that I paid it. So they always have those kinds of exits. And then if you follow that and say, well, do the poor kids get to eat? Isn't that why you put the money in? Well, and then you'll see the rise. You'll see the rise in the voice, the tone, the inflection. They'll sit up, and now you challenge them. Now, they're in the fighting mood. They're Rocky now. They're Rocky. And if they say, well, the Lord has different ways. His ways are not our ways. And then if you just gently say to them, well, wasn't his ways on the Sermon on the Mount was to feed everyone equally? Now the only thing a Mormon will do is walk away. They won't argue with you. If you're calm and you just simply ask them questions about their policies, beliefs, and principles of their church, after 2 or 3 inquisitive, negative questions, they consider them negative, they will rise up, they will talk louder, they'll talk more words, and I don't care, the Bible and the Book of Mormon, and they'll go on and on and on and stand over you and flail, and then you just sit there politely and listen. And then you just simply say, well, do you think it's right for 14-year-old girls to marry 38-year-old men? And they'll walk away. I don't feel the spirit. I don't think you're trying to learn anything. And off they go. That's a cult. That's the way cult people are trained. So, when you hear even a wife or a husband, someone that's not even in a cult, talk louder, start to yell, jump up and down, use threatening words, and try to intimidate, get in your face, to use props and tools while you're talking, you can pretty much be sure that person knows that they're losing the debate. And I think you're going to see a lot of that with Romney in the general debates here in the next month or so. But I just wanted to share with you my experience, and I find it more difficult to be a parent as I get older. Not because I don't know what to say, not that I don't know what to do, but it's because I don't know what to say and I don't know what to do. When I was a Mormon, when I was 24, 26, 35, 42, I knew everything. Just slap the shit out of the kid. They'll straighten up. Ground them. No food. I had every damn stupid answer in the world for raising children. I've had an autistic child, I've had a bipolar child, and I had a clinically depressed child, and I had an oppositional, defiant disorder child. He's still oppositional and defiant. So I've had some experience with these kinds of children. But usually they're in residential facilities. I've got one in my house. And you know, I've thought of 1,000 things. Put up a video camera. I've got motion detectors and light detectors, so I know pretty much where she is all the time. But she went out the front door with my credit card while I was sleeping in the back room. That's dangerous. So I don't know quite what to do. I don't want to overreact. I don't want to underreact. I want to be sensitive. I want to be kind. Her self-esteem is extremely important to me, being a Filipino girl and English as her second language. Her father never took care of her. She doesn't know anything about her father except for me. So I do know when children lie, and I also know when adults lie. And I have to say, I've met more adults that lie basically than children. Children, when you use a low tone and a low voice, I said, "Did you take my credit card without my permission?" Now, if I yelled it at her, she would have gone, "Oh, no, I didn't do that." So, anyway, for whatever it's worth, if it helps you with relationships or it helps you determining next time your home teacher comes over and they start screaming and yelling and throwing the Book of Mormon at you because you didn't go to ward council meeting last week, you'll understand. They're desperate. They're frustrated, they're desperate, and they know that they don't have a leg to stand on, but they're going to try to force you into fear, and then your fear will make you reach into your pocket and give them 10% of your income and make you feel guilty the rest of your life. Thanks.